Hi friends, my name is Ariel. Thank you for joining me for day 3 of our beginner gentle yoga series. Same format vaguely as the last 2 days. Can you tell that vaguely is my favorite word? It turns out for this series. Today you will want a prop. Almost certainly. Not requirement, but probably you'll want a strap of some sort. If you don't have a strap, you can grab a towel, a t-shirt, anything long and flexible. We'll begin with our meditation. So find your most comfortable position, whether that's seated, reclined, lying down, whatever you'd like, wherever you feel good. If you're on the floor, you may want to experiment with sitting on a small pillow, even a folded up blanket. If you put it sort of towards the back of your butt cheeks, it helps to tip the pelvis forward. I find it very comfortable personally, so you may like it as well. Maybe not. When you're ready, softening the gaze or closing the eyes. Couple cycles of breath if you'd like. Taking this little bit of time to make this a different part of your day. You are now sitting down for your practice, which is different than the rest of your day, right? So we just make sure to note the change. And letting the mind begin to explore the body, to find any information that's there. Noticing how the muscles are feeling, how the joints are feeling. Maybe you're very tired and that has an effect on your general feeling right now. Maybe you had a really, really good belly laugh before we started and that's affecting how you're showing up. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. But to know how to move forward, you need to know where you're starting from, right? So just getting an idea. As you're exploring, being curious, wandering around, seeing how things are, I'd like to make a little note that if sitting with your eyes closed is unsettling, uncomfortable, not grounding for you, you do not have to close them. It is absolutely not a requirement of meditation, of breath work, of anything to have the eyes closed. So don't, if you don't want to. You can pick a singular object, you can just fuzzy out the gaze. Now, if you'd like, again, if for whatever reason this just doesn't work for you, you're not wrong. Nothing's wrong with you. It just doesn't work. But if this does work for you, the option again to shift your focus to your breath. Inhale, assign the number 1. Exhale, assign the number 2. Inhale 3, all the way up to 10. Bonus points for every time you notice that you've gotten distracted. And if you do, start over or pick a number. It doesn't matter. Maybe some light observation about how this is different than the last 2 days, if it is. And if you'd like, setting an intention for this practice. What does that mean? It's essentially a goal. What is something that you would like to accomplish or focus on for this practice? So it can be something like I'd like to focus more on my breathing. Maybe it's I want to be more curious. Maybe it's you just want to get to the end of class. Doesn't matter. Any sort of goal that you have for the next 15 or so minutes. And when you're ready, focusing the gaze, opening the eyes, whatever you'd like. Readjusting your seat if you'd like. We'll start in the same way. Remember, you can make this as big or as small as feels good in your body. Inhale, take the arms up overhead. I will never be able to do this without hitting all of my plants. It's okay. It's a good problem to have. I'm not mad about it. It's pretty great. Good. As you inhale your arms up overhead, notice I just closed my eyes because I feel like I can visualize my body as a whole better when I'm moving with my eyes closed. So as you go along, pay attention to your shoulders. Are they like way super hiked up? Can you just create a little more space around the shoulders, around the ears? Inhale, keep the arms up. We're going to turn this into our side bend. Again, as big or as small as you'd like to make this, being mindful that you're not letting the head hang too heavy. Inhale, come through center. Same thing, other side. Keeping some sort of muscular engagement through the neck to support the head. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Let's do one more on each side. Deciding how much sensation you'd like to have here, and then changing your shape accordingly. Beautiful. Come back to center. Remember the twist that we did. We'll do the same thing. Inhale. Exhale, turning. When you stop moving, the hands come down either across the body or a little more open. Inhaling, nice, tall spine. Exhale, maybe twisting a little bit more. Your next inhale will take you through center, arms come up. Exhale, other side. Lovely. Inhaling, creating length in the spine. Exhaling, maybe exploring your twist a little deeper. Inhale, come back to center. Good. We're going to come over onto hands and knees. Now, might I suggest some conservative movements here if you're somebody with a history of wrist injuries? Just be mindful is what I want to say. If this hurts, don't do it. It's not supposed to hurt. None of this should hurt. So we're going to stretch the wrists a little bit. Come over into a tabletop, being soft in those elbows, and then move around. So shift your weight forward and back to the left and the right. Maybe you're making circles with your movement. As you're moving around here, know that you can shift more of your weight back. Pull your hands closer to your knees. Option to tuck the toes here to take a lot of the weight out of the wrists. So if this is already feeling a little sticky, a little not really pleasant, again, we want to avoid anything, any discomfort, any stress, any strain. So take some of that weight out if you need. Now we're going to do a little cat-cow, and then we're going to turn it into a twist in the same shape. So if you remember cat-cow from seated yesterday, and then in this way from day one, you're in a tabletop, a little softness in those elbows. Inhale, belly drops, chest and head come through. And then exhale, arching the spine, dropping the head. Maybe take the chin to the chest or towards the chest. Inhaling up. Exhale, arch the spine. We'll do one more cycle here. Moving slowly, moving with curiosity, being aware of all sensations that come up here. Good. Come on back to a neutral spine. And we're going to turn this into a twist. So take your left hand in between your right arm and your right leg. And then you're going to, I like to hop my right hand maybe 6 inches forward here. So left hand keeps going until your shoulder side of the head-ish are on the floor. So the lower half has stayed basically how it was when we started, and now we're in sort of an upside down twist here. Taking a couple deep breaths. When you're ready, on a big exhale, push into that right hand to bring yourself back up to a tabletop. We'll take 2 cycles of breath, just hanging out right here, just a short moment to notice how you're feeling after that twist. Now we'll do the same thing on the other side. So scoot that left hand forward about 6 inches-ish. Take your right hand way over to the left. It keeps going until your shoulder, maybe the side of the head, are on the ground. Adjusting the left hand as needed to use it sort of like a tripod leg so that you are not going to fall over here. When you're ready, on your next exhale, push nice and hard into that left hand to come back up here to a tabletop. A cycle of breath to notice any sensation that you may have felt from that. Now we're going to come back into a child's pose. Remember, we did this one before. So toes together, knees about as wide as the mat, sinking the hips down-ish, stretching the arms forward, maybe resting the forehead or the chest. Maybe pull those elbows in so there's less gravity doing work, but your arms are more holding you up. A few cycles of breath here. Now leaving your lower half where it is, walk your hands off to the right. Maybe so far that they come off the right side of the mat. Either way, really reaching with that left hand. The more you reach with the left hand and arm, the more you'll feel the stretch through the left side of the body. So, of course, if you want less sensation, bring everything back towards the center line a bit more. Nice and easy, walking the hands through center, then we'll come right off to the other side. So take the hands off the left side of the mat. Your right arm is going to decide how much sensation you're getting, how much stretch you feel in the right side of the body. So if you want more, reach farther. If you want less, bring everything back towards you a bit more. Beautiful. Come back to center. Let's take 3 cycles of breath in child's pose. Noticing anything. We've got one more pose before we finish with our meditation. Now, when you're ready, come on up. We're going to come onto our stomachs. And this is where you may want your strap, towel, t-shirt, whatever you've got. So you can either take the time to make a loop. I am lazy, so I'm not going to. But hook it around your ankle or your foot or wherever. It's usually easier to do before you go down. So coming onto your stomach, pulling on your prop if you've got one, until you feel enough stretch, whatever feels like enough to you, in the top of your thigh, so in your quad. And you're holding the strap, if you've got one, up by your face so that you're not using too much arm muscles to hold it. You're really just using your hands. And you have the option to rest your forehead on your forearm if you'd like. And then if you don't have a prop or you don't want to use one, you just grab the foot, ankle, shin, maybe grab onto your pant leg if you have it. And be mindful of the knee here. If you're feeling a little something in the knee, probably you should work the leg a little more towards straight. Nice and easy. When you're ready, very gently lower that leg. Switch your prop if you'd like. But either way, prop or no prop, getting situated on the other side. I open up my knees quite a bit here, and I find that gives me a more quality stretch. Rather than thinking of having my legs come directly out of my hip sockets, I open them up maybe 2 inches wider than my hips. And I find that here, for me, for my body, that gives me a more satisfying stretch. So that's something for you to experiment with if you'd like. Release that leg. When you're ready, we're going to come into our final meditation. So you can flip over onto your back if you'd like, since we're already down there, or come up to seated. Completely up to you. When I practice for myself, when I'm by myself, I lay down. However, when I teach, I always sit during this portion. And that's just so that I can be aware and mindful and here for you, because this practice is for you. So coming however you're comfortable. If you're lying down on the ground, arms can be out away from the body, or resting on the belly perhaps. If you're seated, palms down or open on the thighs, maybe even hands on the chest and the belly. Either softening the gaze or closing the eyes. A few cycles of breath to mark this as the end of your class, like we marked the beginning of class. Now this is the final part of our class, and we're making this a defined moment. Letting attention wander through the body to be curious, to see what you may notice. If you're unsure of what you should be noticing here, I'll give you an example for myself. I noticed that my spine feels very long today, and it feels very open and satisfying to me. I also noticed that I have just some sort of sensation in the center of my chest from lying on my stomach. And it just feels a little tight. It feels a little bit uncomfortable, but I think only because I don't usually have this sensation. And again, it's just something that I'm noticing, and then I move on to what else do I notice? It takes time to be able to do that. So if for a while you can't come up with anything, you can't really notice anything, that's okay. Keep trying. Keep trying, but it takes time. Now, as we're ready to close out our practice, perhaps take a moment of gratitude for yourself for showing up again. Make the commitment to show up again tomorrow. We're officially through the halfway point, so you're in the home stretch. When you're ready, gently fluttering the eyes open. If you're lying down, bring a little movement into the body, wiggling the fingers and the toes before you roll off to one side to come up to seated. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. Once again, I'm really enjoying doing this with you, taking the time with you every day. I'm very excited to see you again tomorrow for day 4. My name is Ariel. I will see you then.